Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our special work session today. I now call this meeting to order at 5 p.m. Today for our agenda, we have two items to discuss. The first is Ordinance number 2051, an ordinance amending the general operating budget and capital improvement program of the Mayor and City Council of Laurel, Maryland for the fiscal year July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2026, and to provide an effective date. This afternoon, we have Director Michelle Saylor with us to provide more context about Ordinance number 2051. Director Saylor, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the City Council. Ordinance 2051 amends the operating budget and capital improvement program by $5,700,000. The revenue is coming from a fund transfer, which is the unassigned fund balance of $3,722,914 and $1,977,086 from public safety fees. That's on the revenue side. And then on page 4 of your document, you'll see the $5.7 million going into miscellaneous financial uses, which is the department account we use to transfer funds to the capital improvement program. So the operating budget increases to $52,189,288. Below that, you'll see that we're adding or creating a project for property purchase and renovation for $5.7 million. Thank you. I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Director Saylor. Are there any questions or comments from the council regarding ordinance number 2051? I see Councilmember Simmons. Please feel free to proceed.
Thank you, Madam President. And I think there was maybe a small tweak in the preambles. Will we be getting a copy of the update, I guess, before maybe its second hearing, since first hearing is tonight? Around the
Right. The third one should be the FY 2026.
Right.
As well as actually the first one where it says and subsequently amended through ordinance number 2051, that should be 49,
Right.
because 2049 is actually the first amendment of FY 26.
And I'm assuming we'll be getting copies. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. That's all. Thank you.
Are there additional questions or comments from the council regarding ordinance number 2051? I don't see any. All right. Well, seeing that we have no additional questions or comments from the council, are there any objections on moving this forward to our meeting this evening at 6 p.m.? No? Okay. All right, then ordinance number 2051 will be placed on our agenda for an introduction and first public hearing during our regular mayor and city council meeting this evening at 6 p.m. Thank you. Moving to agenda item number 3, we have resolution number 9-2025, a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of Laurel, Maryland, approving and authorizing the purchase of 114 and 122 Lafayette Avenue, Laurel, Maryland 20707, for the purpose of acquiring real property for city operations. This afternoon, I see that we have Director Saylor. Will we also have Director Bill Bailey or Director Tim Miller speaking as well regarding this resolution?
We can, yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Please feel free to proceed. You now have the floor.
As we do with the purchase of real property, a resolution needs to be passed, adopted by the City Council to allow to establish the purchase price and to allow the mayor to execute the documents for the purchase. And this is for the purchase, as you said, of 114, 122 Lafayette Avenue for $5.5 million. And this has been reviewed by the city solicitor.
Thank you, Director Saylor. Do we have any questions or comments from the council regarding resolution number 9-2025? I see Councilmember Simmons' hand. Please feel free to proceed.
Thank you, Madam President. And just so we can have a quick overview, I know we've chatted before, but it might be helpful to take a 60-second view on how, from the city team, on how we want to use this as a city, how it benefits.
Okay. Gentlemen.
Good evening, Council President and City Council members. So a quick overview, as we've talked about this in 2 previous work sessions, the quick overview of this is that there are 4 buildings on the 2 properties that we're looking at. The larger building is going to be, we're proposing use for the Public Works facility, that they would move all their administrative people over to that side of the building, or side of the railroad tracks, if you will, the other side, as well as some of the equipment from the day-to-day equipment that would free up space in the stone building and the other building, the older building, if you will. So that's the front half of that. The other side of that building would also be for FMPS. They would move over and maintain the other side. There's 2 parts to the front half of that building. And like I said, the left side would be, or I'm sorry, the right side would be for Public Works. The left side would be for FMPS. The back of the warehouse would be maintained for Public Works for their, like I said, their everyday equipment, everything out of the stone building, so that they would free up space in that building. That maybe the rest of the older stuff, the older building, if you will, now could expand and utilize the space that is being freed up now with the move. So that would now give up more space in the garage area for the mechanics and all to expand out and allow that. We'd also would make a bigger locker room for the current staff in there now, and also allow for the laborers and the crew leaders to have off space now, again, to expand out within, because they're kind of confined in one room, if you will, now. They would be able to take over some of the admin offices that were vacated. This would free up parking as well for the Public Works facility people. I don't remember the calculation off the top of my head. Maybe 15 cars would go over to the new site. The remainder would be on the old site where they're tight on space now with parking as an issue currently. All the vehicles would be left behind. The bigger vehicles, the big trucks and things like that, would be left on the old side of the tracks, if you will, the First Street side. Then the rest of the buildings we're looking at on the Lafayette property for police. The police could move their motorcycle units over there. The police could move use one of the buildings as an evidence lab that they have been trying to get into the budget for the last couple of years. We have not been able to secure a grant to do so. There is one building that would make this very easily accountable. And remember, we're going to build this out over a number of years. We're not trying to come in and make this 1 year buy all, fit all. We're going to spread it out over a 3-year plan where we can build up gradually and add it to our budgets down the road. So we're not taking a big hit on this on the first year out. The other building up there would be for training for the police department. And then the front half of that building would also serve as Parks and Recreation storage space for all the special event materials and equipment. Currently, we have them just scattered in all various different buildings around the city right now, so we would centralize all that.
Yeah, thank you. And I think it's very helpful to have that. I know part of the conversation too has been, as we're adding more houses to different parts of Laurel, sort of our need to have some space to serve those is also sort of growing too. So I appreciate that overview.
Okay.
There's one other comment I'll make and then return the floor, Madam President. One of the thoughts going through my head as well, I know as our Director of Budget and Personnel Services recently recapped, the funding we're able to release some public service funds to help us do this, the 1.9 million and change, and then there's another 3.7 million or so from our unassigned fund. I know our unassigned fund normally is our sort of rainy day fund, so I'm slightly, okay, hey, we'd rather not break the piggy bank. I know from our conversations, though, that we're by no means doesn't put us in any type of compromised financial position. So I'm confident based on the numbers we ran, we're in pretty good shape to do that. However, I think it might be good for us to consider as a city, if we foresee the need to do some capital additions, we might start stocking some money away. If we foresee that, that helps us be able to draw from that in the future. Just a thought to throw into the mix. I yield the floor. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you so much. Director Miller, did you also have something that you wanted to share in regards to the building and the uses as well, please? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I believe Bill covered most of it. Yes, right now we're squeezed. There's a lot of development coming on board here in the coming years. especially the next three. I can think of, one large subdivision that's over 290 units. We have the remainder of Patuxent Greens coming on board. We also have Anderson Greens coming on board. And who's to say what else? I mean, I'm saying it. We're the trucking outfit, SAI. At one time, I believe that was supposed to be a number of high-rises proposed in there. Not that that's going to happen, but there's other properties that will be developed within the city. You have the big question mark, where will the racetrack go? Okay, will that remain in Anne Arundel County? Could that possibly come in the city of Laurel? And all of that just adds to the need of what are we going to do? Where are we going to expand? And, how often do pieces of property like this become available in the city for these types of expansion? So, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I believe I see Councilmember Cole's hand. Please feel free to proceed.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Based on the resolution, the work sessions, or the executive sessions that we've had, I think this property is a fair appraisal, and it's a good investment for the city. It's move-in ready. There's not many places that we can find that are already equipped to have very little renovation for us to just move into. I think this makes sound fiscal responsibility for all of us. As the city continues to grow, I think this will do us well for the next 10 to 20 years as we continue to expand, whether it's building up, building out, whichever way we want to expand. The city's going to continue to grow, and this is just going to make our operations safer and allow us to continue to serve our residents. So I support this resolution tonight, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilmember Cole. I believe Councilmember Mills also has a comment or question as well. Please feel free to proceed.
Thank you, Madam President. So I do have one question for you. Do you think that, is there enough space for personal vehicles and fleet vehicles at this one location?
I do. I mean, I know that I've already counted over 32 parking spaces that are there, marked out, and that doesn't include the whole back of the building, that area behind the building that could be possibly laid out for our, I'll call it light duty, medium duty vehicles. Could also be parked over there as well. Yeah.
If so, then why are we not talking about perhaps getting rid of selling the old facility then?
Well, the old facility has the salt barn on it, okay? It has our fuel tanks. It has our shop, the lifts inside of it. I wouldn't want to try to move all that over to that facility because that would all have to be taken down and cleaned up, okay?
Taken down?
Taken down, right?
Like to be sold?
To be sold, correct. There's a lot of, the salt could be hazardous. We could find out at a later time. There would be a lot of cleanup. And to go ahead, I think we would probably be back here to ask for another $5 to $8 million to move that fuel facility, to move the garage part with all the lifts and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And I think that if we just go ahead and maintain what we have now, we don't have to ask for those additional funds.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering if y'all thought about, having that over there. Because of the back property, it doesn't have to have like a salt dome. You can always just build a simple salt barn all the way in the back of the property. And then, if needed be to put a fuel facility there, because you have the police there as well. So if you have, that could be a combination for fuel and for gas at one location.
Well, that is what we have right now at the 305, 307 First Street, so that everything is contained there. But to go ahead and get all those other small obstacles that are in there, the fuel truck comes in and he can't even get to the pumps. So instead of them discharging it, by gravity, they have to physically pump it because we've got parking in front of the fuel pumps there and things of that nature that block it by the workers, and they usually come in, you know, from 8 to 4, anytime while the facility's in full use.
Oh, okay.
So, yes.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Johnson, do you also have a question or comment? Please feel free to proceed.
Thank you. Just briefly, I am in favor also of the purchase based on what you all mentioned, the needs of the city growing and things like that. Just a few concerns that I'd just like to address and hopefully that we will consider. Just thinking about the semantics of the resolution where it specifically states Laurel Police Department, Parks and Rec, and Public Works, but I know we mentioned FMPS. So I just want to make sure it doesn't like eliminate us from using FMPS. Just making sure of that. And just to, again, voice my concern because as Councilman Simmons mentioned, I guess we are making a big purchase and we're just trying to figure out how long we're going to use it, make sure we're using it in enough time because this is the second big purchase that we've made as a council. So I just want to make sure that we utilize the space and make use of it during the right time. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Johnson. I do have a couple comments and questions myself as well. To start, I also would love for you all to have the proper room that you need. We don't want you to feel cramped and not safe because that's what we think about every single day. So I want you to let you know that up front. In addition, I would really love to see recommendations, input, and requests from the DPW, FMPS, and the police department included in the build-out over the years, if this is approved, just so the employees have some input on how it's used or the things that they need as well. I think I asked this question previously, but just for the public, for their awareness, are there any environmental concerns or liabilities of the building that we should be concerned about or that you foresee at all?
Talking to the previous owner, he assured us there wasn't, but we also have KCI. They're coming out actually Wednesday and Thursday of this week, and they'll be giving us a report as well. They'll go give us an overview of the whole property.
Great, thank you. In addition to this, just if you're able to summarize how you believe that the purchase of this building would also benefit the residents and improve city services?
Sure. I think it gives us the opportunity to stay current with, as the city grows, we have that space to grow, okay? I believe that having that additional space and I'll call it cleaner space, it will keep the union employees happier, to have a cleaner area in which to come in and work. I mean, not to say that the existing facility is a dungeon or terrible in any way, but it is. It helps build the morale of all of those employees that will move over there, I believe. Even the police and FMPS and whoever's over there from Parks and Recs. So I think that having that ability to grow as the city grows, no, I don't foresee that facility, being built out right away. I mean, it's going to take years with the storage that we have in there and things of that nature. But as different services come on board, I mean, since I've been here 3 years, and you've seen things like brine come on board. You've seen things as us doing our own thermoplast. That's the white lines and things on the streets, and having those materials that have to be kept warm. They can't be in a place where they currently are that's unheated. Paint, things like that. It's, if we protect those things, it means that we don't have to go out and buy it a second time if they freeze. It prevents them from freezing and things of that nature. So again, I look at the overall cost to the city. It's a benefit to be able to keep those items more stable. The mix that we use for potholes, okay? We physically in the winter have to take it put it in a vehicle and run the heater on it for 2 hours before they put it into a pothole in the winter because it's in that stone building and it gets very cold. So I see that there's going to be a big benefit to the city and the ability to grow. I also look at it as, we will move our compost that the people come back and pick up in our yard. Now they don't have to worry about picking up nails and things. The whole site is basically paved where that would be installed now. So things of that nature would be very beneficial to the public.
Thank you. It sounds as though more room would also allow perhaps some of the employees to be able to do more jobs or learn more trades. I think that's a real benefit because I know that they're very eager and they really seem to love their jobs. So I would love to see that as well. And I'm not sure who would answer these questions. I have just two more. Regarding, I think there's an extra 200,000 included in the budget. There was a 5.5 and a 5.7. I didn't hear anyone ask. What's the difference and what would that be used for? If you could please tell us, someone?
I think that was for the build-out, right? Yeah, the initial security. Yeah, so that 200,000 is going to be used for the first thing we would have to do is fence it in. There's one side that's not fenced in, so we're going to go ahead and get that enclosed so the property's enclosed, right? So that's part of that. And then we've got IT needs of cameras, alarms, that kind of stuff. So that's where that's going to go initially, yeah.
Thank you. Included in that amount, just to look ahead, do you also need money for the organizational piece? Because I know it's a larger property. You also mentioned that you have 3 different departments included. So will you need to add more money in order to add on that organizational part?
Yeah, we're going to need money. One of the things two of the 3 outbuildings are unconditioned spaces. So we're going to be adding some heat into those buildings. As Tim said, some of the stuff that he'll needs to be in conditioned areas. So he'll have the heat in the back of the public works side. All that's heated already. But there are going to be some initial outlays that we may have to do, some minor painting, and I say minor, and then we're going to have to do maybe some wall work or, drywall, whatever is needed. But we're not trying to do it all in the first year. We're going to let everybody get in and then figure out where we're at and what really needs to be done. If we jump into it too fast, we're just wasting money. So we're going to get into it, see how this works for everybody, and then we'll expand as needed. But again, a lot of the initial work or money is going to be towards IT stuff, all their computer stuff, their servers, their alarms, the cameras, all that kind of stuff. That's a lot of the money right there is tied up into that. But yeah, we're going to need some money to get started.
Okay, thank you. I know you mentioned a very special fan that you need, so.
Yes, that's right.
One additional thing, I know that time is of the essence in regards to this purchase. I would have loved to see like a comprehensive space needs assessment done, just to understand if this property would meet the current and future needs for the next 5 to 10 years. I don't know if you've done or if anyone has done anything like that, but if you have created that, I would love to see it if you're able to share it. Those are all of my questions and comments. Are there any additional, we have Councilmember Mills. Please proceed.
I just want to know, do you all have a brine tank already?
Yes, we do. We have a 6,000-gallon brine tank.
That's what I thought.
And then our 2 trucks, one is a 300-gallon that is on the back of a pickup truck to get into tighter areas. Mm-hmm. And then the other was on a very large single-axle dump truck. Yeah. And that tank holds 1,200 gallons.
Okay, but I mean, you don't mix the brine in the trucks. I'm talking about like a separate tank.
We mix it
ground.
Separate. That's a 6,000-gallon tank.
6,000. Yes. Oh, yes. Okay. All
yep.
right. So 6,000. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't see any additional questions or comments from the council. Hearing that there are none, does anyone have any hesitation on moving this forward for the introduction and first public hearing this evening? I see none. All right, great. So this item, resolution number 9-2025, will be placed on the agenda for an introduction first public hearing during our regular mayor and city council meeting this evening at 6 p.m. Thank you to Director Saylor, Director Bailey, and Director Miller for answering the questions. Chief Hamill, your work as well. We appreciate it. and look forward to talking about this more. Thank you, everyone, for your time today. Remember to please join us at 6 p.m. for our regular City Council meeting, which can be viewed on our City of Laurel's website, as well as Laurel TV on YouTube. With no further business to come before the Mayor and City Council for this work session, it is now adjourned at 5:25 p.m. Thank you.